Shalom. Let give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you sincere brothers pushing his word out across the four corners of the earth. And let's I want to get into about the importance of staying rooted. And this is Colossians 2 verse 6. As ye have therefore received Yahushai the Lord, so walk ye in him. And how we supposed to walk in Yahushai is trying to be perfect. You know, when he was on this planet Earth, he was walking perfect in the spirit. You know, he didn't have no type of sins, anything like that, while he was in his form as Yahushua. We supposed to be in that same mind frame. But due to the curses we're in these bodies, we're going to mess up. But we still supposed to have that spiritual mind frame of walking ye in perfect in Yahushua, trying to do the best as we can. Verse 7, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Look up that word rooted in the Greek, and it's pronounced razo. In the definition right here, it says to cause to strike root, to strengthen with roots, to render firm, to fix, establish, cause a person or a thing to be thoroughly grounded. So we're supposed to be spiritually locked into this word, you know, to this doctrine Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua bestowed upon our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. You know, we're supposed to be staying strong in that and not being wayward into these other different philosophies or doctrines. Verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Mashiach Yahushua. And that's going to all these different philosophies, these different doctrines. And the main thing right now that's on the scene is Christianity. A lot of people are falling into those ways. Before we came into it, this truth, we was into Christianity. Some brothers might be into being a Muslim, a Roman Catholicism, or something else, But those are things of the world. Those are traditional men, because you see they celebrate these different holidays, and this, it goes back, hundreds or thousands of years ago. But our people are supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to be spiritually geared in this word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So let's get Psalm 31 and 24. It says, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all you that hope in the Lord. And why I brought this up, because in Christianity, they will teach you that everybody that can't hope in the Lord. But that's not the case. That's a cut with Christianity, because if you get Psalm 130, let's start at 7. It says, let Israel hope in the Lord. For with the Lord there is mercy, and with him is plenteous redemption. Verse 8. And he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. So that's going back to that philosophy of vain deceit. Christianity would teach that everybody can hope in the Lord. Well, according to the scriptures right here, what we supposed to stick to, where our mind's supposed to be spiritually geared to as Israelites, we supposed to see what the Most High said. It says, and he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. Yahushua became the Savior for Israel, beginning with the elect of the nation of Israel. Then when 2/3 be born back into the kingdom, that's pretty much their salvation. And just further prove that, get Psalm 131. Verse 3. It says, let Israel hope in the Lord from henceforth and forever. So something forever is everlasting. So you can't say that, well, yes, he was dealing with the Israelites in the Old Testament, and when the New Testament came about, he started dealing with the Gentiles, which are the other nations. No, those Gentiles were those Israelite foreigners that forgot the customs of being Israelites. They totally, forsaken their heritage due to the curses. We were going to forget our heritage. That's part of our curse. So only Israel can hope in the Lord. All right. Now that's part, me bringing these scriptures out, that's part of us, being rooted in this thing of ours. Like Apostle Gabar always say, you're supposed to be spiritually rooted. And part of being rooted, you're supposed to be stable, firm in this doctrine. And part of the doctrine is salvation is only for the elect of the nation of Israel. And pretty much it's going to be for the whole nation of Israel. Ephesians 3:17. And it says that Yahushua may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in love. So there go the word rooted again. You're supposed to be stable. You're supposed to be firm. Apostle Tahar always bring out that you're supposed to be on fire in this truth. You're supposed to be hot for this, man. You're being rooted. You stay firm in what you believe in. And that leads me to 1 Corinthians 15. Jump to the 58th verse. And it says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So those key words again that we supposed to be minded of. Be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Because all these different things that we doing, Lord willing, we are part of the elect. That labor that we've been doing, going out there on the highways and the byways, doing different type of videos, edifying the elect, feeding the sheep, being charitable amongst the brothers. Even that goes by monetary, or it can go by just helping brothers out, just edifying. The Most High, he doesn't forget that labor. He remembers that. And pretty soon, there will be those spiritual tokens taken with you to the kingdom. And that's going to be our reward. All those good deeds we did for the sake of Yahweh Shem Shai. Dealing with the brotherhood. And that's an important factor of this truth, the brotherhood. Because one thing about roots, they say they intertwine with one another. Pretty much meaning they join together. And that's how we supposed to be. We supposed to be joined together as brothers, We all supposed to be on that same umbrella, that same doctrine, pushing the word of Yahweh Shem Shai in truth and sincerity. That's why it says, matter of fact, let me just get it instead of quoting it. Psalm 133:1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And how we do that? We're supposed to be stable, firm, teaching the word of Yahweh Shem Shai in truth and sincerity, all on one accord. And that's something Christianity don't teach. And that's a cut on them and all these other philosophies that are in the world. That's going to be done away with. And we doing that spiritually right now. We tearing that apart. So that's my take on the importance of staying rooted. Just stay grounded. Just continue doing the work of Yahweh Shem Shai until he get us up out of here. Abaratazah. So I hope you all were edified. Like, give all honor and glory again to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, the abundance to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you sincere brothers. Shalom.
We know more about how the natural world works than ever before. It's kind of a perfect storm for nature-inspired innovation. During Hurricane Katrina, you would have thought that the live oaks on St. Charles Street would have died. when actually only 4 out of over 700 trees died. Why is that? Well, the trees, it turns out, the whole thing is a blueprint for how to survive hurricanes. Their trunk is spiraled, so they flex in the wind, and their branches are spiraled, so they flex, and their leaves, when the wind hits them, they curl into the shape of a Fibonacci sequence, which allows the wind to flow through with minimum friction so that the leaves don't get torn off easily. And even more importantly, under the ground, its roots are actually entwined with the roots of the trees next to it. So when a hurricane hits a live oak in New Orleans, it's not hitting one tree, it's hitting a whole community. So perhaps in rebuilding New Orleans to be more hurricane resilient, instead of our individual pier foundations, we may think about foundations that have horizontal components that twine together with the foundations of the buildings next door, so that you've got the wind hitting an entire community of buildings and not just one. Architects and engineers are beginning to explore this in other places. They're starting to think like a live oak tree to design buildings and homes that are safer and more resilient.